Canada just defeated Panama 2-0 in the Women's U17 CONCACAF Championships. What does it mean? Well, let's talk about it. Alright guys, welcome back to What Does It Mean? It's basically our match recap. Let's get right into the action. If you like this type of content, we're going to have our CAF Match Day 2 recap tomorrow. Early congratulations to Burkina Faso, who are on their way to the FIFA U17, the new formatted FIFA U17 World Cup. So we'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow in that video. But Canada, 2-0 over Panama. Goals from Melissa Kekic and then Emma Reda in the 35th and 60th minute, respectfully. This game was odd to me. I think it goes without saying. The first thing, I was talking to someone during this game and kind of, making our way through it and making points, and we realized something. This is the first women's youth side that we've seen that isn't part of the Herdman tree of coaches. Now, again, when you say that, every coach has their own philosophy, and that's not the point. Of the Herdman coach tree of coaching, right? You add players like Wilkinson, you look at Bev Priestman, you look at Emma Humphreys, look at John Herman. All those teams had a distinct style where they wanted to attack you with pressing. They were ruthless and they were just constant, right? Remember, think back to that U20, that U17 team back in 2021-22, where even if they're having a bad game, they would just press the life out of you and turn you over. Like, that's the team with that. That's the team that's right now starting to try to break into that senior team on the Canadian side. So it's an interesting lens to look at it now, and it almost changes my perspective on this, because I'm looking at this team and I'm thinking, they look off. They don't look like they're clicking at that high gear of football. But then with that realization, it's more of a conversation of, that's not the style they're trying to play right now. And though on the stat sheet, they look dominant, right? 76% possession, 23 shots, 7 on target. I think they've hit the most crossbars this tournament. But in many ways, it looks like they're and I think that's where I watch them and feel like it's frustrating sometimes. It's a different coaching staff, it's a different style, it's a different language of footy. But to me, I'm expecting them to turn up, to be a little bit more crisp, to want to attack, to be ruthless, to not fear putting 15 on a team. And that's a point in itself. I kind of alluded to it in the other video, but I think there isn't anything wrong with going through the qualification round. Yes, it starts the conversations of there's no value to us being here, but I think it would have helped maybe having them play in a little bit more of a cohesive style. Because the one thing we've noticed with the teams here, right? We know this with Canada, we know this with the US, to an extent Mexico. They haven't been clicking at that high level that we're so accustomed to, right? The US has started to find its form a little bit later here, but Canada have just been off, right? Their ideas are there, or they're just a little bit too robotic in getting to them, or they're just a step too slow, or getting caught watching an offsides. Maybe they get it done in their last game against Panama, but that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. I think the other thing that would be interesting to watch is the lineups. That, I think it was the first eye raiser for me. Looks like they're set up in a 4-2-2-2. This lineup looked almost identical in terms of players to what they started on Tuesday, which to me is a bit of a concern, right? We're so used to seeing Canada play these games and just go on the offensive, but rotate, right? Knowing that they have the squad depth, they don't need to fear it too much. But it's looking like they are running with a little bit of the same team on both sides, right? They did rotate the midfield, which was nice to see. But up top, your top 4 attackers looked the same. Your back line, for the most part, was the same, right? A little bit of rotation as well. The lineup on against Nicaragua was Martino, K, Matipila, Agnes, Chisholm, Batter, Kindell, Hunter, Garro, and then Kekic, with Busby in net still. For this game against Panama was Agnes, Betteridge, K, Donnelly, Taylor, Reda, and then Kindell, Hale, Hunter, and Kekic. I think it'll be curious to see how they want to approach the Puerto Rico matchup. I think that would open up some possibilities in terms of what they're looking to do. Of note, and I think you do need to bring that point here, I think it does make it interesting because of where they now sit. Right now, group winners are moving on. There's no conversation with it, which begs into the question, what happens if they lose to Puerto Rico? Now, Puerto Rico is going to play a little bit later today, but as it stands right now, if they lose to Puerto Rico, the team that they have to watch out for is Costa Rica. El Salvador is playing the U.S., and I expect the U.S. to win that game, which means El Salvador will be at 2 points. But then Puerto Rico or Canada in second with 6 would be ideal, but Costa Rica in their final matchup, they are playing Bermuda. So I expect them to finish with 6 points, which means it comes down to goal difference. And as it stands right now, Costa Rica are at +4. I don't know why it took me so long to say that. They're at +4 with goal difference, which means any loss by the other teams can't be by a large number, because if not, Costa Rica will go on. So again, I have to be careful. Either they win, but if they lose, they risk not going through just because of goal difference. So tough game coming up on Saturday. Wow, we're off today. But let me know what you thought of the game. What stood out to you? And how is this watching this new era of football? It's not from the Herman Tree. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I'm going to stop talking right